Hi there. Welcome to Hanging Out on Monday. We got a pretty good group in here tonight. Look at this. We've got Alex joining us tonight from, I don't know, some island in the Mediterranean, perhaps. Something. I don't know. We got
Pretty
Damon.
island. It's a
Yeah.
secret island.
Secret Island. Yes. Yes. We got Damon somewhere near Detroit and Buddy somewhere near Chicago. And Kevin is not near anything. It's in Ohio. Eric, who's definitely in Woburn, Mass. And of course, Boston
Good to
John.
see
I'm
you.
Brian. Welcome to Hanging Out. So I've been on this thing. You guys all know it. I got a bug probably last Saturday. Not this last Saturday, but the Saturday before. Like, you know what? I got too much stuff. I got too much DJ stuff. Many of you know I do a lot of demo videos. And when I do these videos, I get product. It's part of the compensation package. And what I try to do is I hang on to the stuff because I don't want to just flip it. I'm trying to be kind about it and use it if I need to use it. But the sheer amount of stuff just got ridiculous and it took over my house. So I decided to purge stuff, and I did. I did this big purge. All this stuff that was on my shelves and I was tripping over, I totally got rid of it. And then when Blanca and I went to go clean, guess what? There's more stuff. There's more stuff hiding. So I got to do a second purge. I was just wondering how you guys handle this excessive DJ equipment. And maybe some of you buy a lot of equipment. Maybe some of you have things that you use and you've replaced them and you've shelved things. Do you guys get rid of stuff when you're done with it? Do you hang on to it just in case? How do you manage this stuff? I'm just curious because obviously I've done a terrible job at it. Who has a lot of DJ stuff? I know
I got a
Buddy
lot of
does.
mixers.
John does. Yeah, it's manageable though. John, you've got a lot of DJ stuff.
Having a garage helps. And I found the stuff that's in current use that's going out to gigs doesn't really count as overload of stuff. It's the stuff that you've retired that you put away, and you start originally with one shelving unit, and then you fill up three of them with just old big, the double ball spinny heads that go around like this.
Right.
The 2-pin 300-watt halogens and the ceramic block, those type lights. But none of that stuff lasted. Most of that stuff broke before I was going to, have to make a decision like, do I want to part with it or sell it or donate it? It was, you run it until the wheels fall off. And luckily, a lot of the stuff didn't survive just from transport over, going real heavy buying lights and for probably since the 90s. But all that stuff is outdated. It was like hot halogens and it's not stuff that you want in front where people can touch. Like if it's up in the ceiling, it's one thing, but a lot of that stuff had to be portable, and what I'm down to is essentially just what I need. If something goes, then I look to either upgrade or replace it with what's current or better than what I had before.
You're kind of like me with vehicles. I run them till the wheels fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Or, they rust in half or something. I don't get rid of anything. How about you, Eric? You have a lot of it. You just moved, so you probably purged a lot of stuff, didn't you?
Well, way back, yeah. I had these, much like John was saying, I had these, they called helicopters,
Yeah.
8 lights, and they would spin. But these were only good for 3 minutes. You have to shut them off because they would overheat. They would get
Right.
And I carried them around for years, not at gigs, just to keep them. Every time I move, I'd bring them with me. And my wife say, "Why you don't use them?" I said, "Shut up. I like these." But maybe I'll make a room in the basement and we'll hang them in there.
Someday. Yeah.
Right. The someday list never came. And so finally, we moved to Woburn, where I'm at now. And all them years, like we moved a few times, and I always brought everything with me. So this time when we moved to Woburn, and just a few months back, I had boxes and I had some crates and stuff. And I was proud of myself because I didn't look at them. Right to the dumpster. They were gone.
Wow.
Because what would happen if I looked at them? Oh, I might need that. I might need this.
Get emotional.
And I'm thinking, if I haven't needed any of this in 5 years, Why would I need it now?
Sure.
And I just threw it away. And I know if I did look in it, I would have been hauling stuff here. And I'm glad I didn't,
That's how you've handled it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. I'm where I'm in this weird place where personally I don't want anything to go to waste. If it's something's good and someone can get use out of it, I want them to, I want them to have it. That I hate throwing good things away. It's the poor kid in me, or the poor adult in me, I guess still. But yeah, there have been times when I've needed things and, just thinking somebody might have just thrown that away. It just breaks my heart, I guess. So I do struggle with that, and I understand your reasoning, and I'm proud of you too. Good for you.
Yeah.
So, Damon, you have a mixer collection?
Yeah, I'm real bit. Well, first of all, like with the lights goes, I got rid of all my spin and puke stuff
Uh-huh.
a few years ago when I switched over to like my gig bars and stuff like that.
How'd you get rid of it?
I actually gave it to some kids in the neighborhood. I was
Nice.
like,
But
hey,
then
put this
burn
up
their
in your
house
room.
down.
Right, right.
I was like, here, have this for your rooms and stuff
Man,
like
I'd
that.
have
And they
killed for
loved
something
it.
like that in my room when I was a kid. My
Yeah.
God.
So, but then now, like, I'm a collector of mixers, and all the mixers I played on over the years growing up, I just collected them, and
I'm
I
cool
actually
with,
got too
yeah.
many of them, but I need to.
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of get that. I mean, it's a collection of things
Yeah,
that you can display or whatever. That's different, I think, than just hoarding
Hoarding.
things that
Right.
you are just in your way, where it gets to the point where you had a room, but now it's so full of stuff you don't have a room anymore.
Yeah.
And I think about going through my late father's stuff and garages and full of things and just loading up two large construction dumpsters of things and getting to
Didn't it?
thinking to myself, you know, do I own the stuff or does the stuff own me?
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
How about you, buddy? I mean, you're hauling everything around in a
Oh, no,
giant Mercedes truck.
I'm not hauling everything around that van. Trust me, the storage facility loves getting my payment every month for holding all the extra stuff. But the one
There we go.
thing I do try to purge things, like I got rid of a set of Eons this year. I listen to other DJs, and when DJs, hey, I need an extra this or that, if I know I have it and I'm not using it,
Yeah.
I just want to sell it. I look at equipment, it basically has like a 5-year shelf life on front line, and then it goes to sideline for as a backup. And then after a while, you need to get rid of that backup. So
Right.
put it on, on some kind of marketplace or on somewhere to sell it. But talking to other DJs, especially if you have something sitting there. And then Brian, I know you have a lot of stuff. You have you can talk to a lot of DJs at the same time. Having that stuff and helping someone out that may not
Yeah.
have the money to go buy it, I think it's a great thing. It helps other DJs out, especially up and coming DJs who may not have the newest, greatest controller, can't go out and buy an XZ like I have, but maybe they need an SX2 or maybe they need another kind of controller. But also, you got to remember, like Damon and like yourself, you have some older stuff that you collect that you have a collection. You're not sitting there just storing it to store it. You have some things there that are like, I remember when I did this back when I was 20 years old or
Right.
18 years old or 28 years old, whatever it was. You have memories with that stuff. So you want to collect that stuff and have that versus
Yeah.
just having a pile of stuff like you had your lights, which you did a purge. And I
Yeah, it wasn't
talking to
anything I
Tracy, I'm like,
wanted.
I
It
do the
was
same thing.
wasn't anything I picked out. It was just stuff that was demonstrating. It wasn't like, oh, I want this, so I acquired it. It was, oh, here, check this out. Oh, this is interesting. Next. little different for me, but yeah.
I think that is really cool, and I know that talking to you, those lights are going to find a lot of great homes, and there's a lot of great products that have very little use on it, and
Yeah, most of it's low hours.
awesome.
Some of it's not, but most of it is. The thing with me is if I've got local friends who are in need, I make sure they're taken care of. It doesn't matter if it's speakers or lighting or mixers or what. Even if I know that they can buy it, hey, I've got it, just come and get it. I've done that a lot with my local pals who have done wonderful things for me. They've thrown me a lot of work. They've helped me out when I've needed it. physically if I needed something set up or whatever, so I couldn't do it, especially wintertime gigs. I don't move very well in the wintertime, and I've got guys who just can't wait to help me out in the wintertime, loading in and loading out, and I really appreciate it. So they do for me. It's not like I'm being taken advantage of. But the one thing that I do dread is the day they say, "Hey, I'm going to bring all that stuff back."
No returns.
No hablo inglés.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason, my
Wrong
phone does
number.
not seem to work that day.
Yeah. So, how about you, Kevin? You got a lot of old DJ stuff laying around you're not using?
Got some. I think my problem is, and it's from childhood, I'm sentimental.
Yeah, I get that.
So if it's something I was given, a piece of gear, I don't have, and I even then I still get a bond to it, even though it's got no human feelings or anything. It's like, and then it's like, I should sell it if I'm not using it, but is someone going to treat it right? Are they gonna?
Right.
Are they gonna take it?
Emotionally attached to it? Yeah.
I feel for it, and it's like I know it's not human or anything, but it's like, are they?
I took care of it.
That's my thing, and that goes back to being a kid, and I still have a lot of my toy tractors and Matchbox and all that.
I make fun of you for living in Ohio, but here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. I am from the same general place that you are.
Yeah.
And the mindset's the same, and I grew up that way. Yeah. Even though I lived other places, I grew up with that whole thing. I always wrote it off as like my father being an orphan and a child of the Depression. Yeah, it's kind of how I looked at it. That's why I think that he was always hanging on to things. And it kind of rubbed off on me for a while, and then until it didn't, until I just had to let things go. But yeah, I totally understand the sentimental thing.
Yeah, let's not kid each other here. Class, we gotta help Kevin out. He's in denial. It's not sentimental. He's a hoarder. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
does it make you money? Does it bring you joy? And is it in the way? That's
yeah.
I love you, Kevin.
Well, if we're going to go off that theory, then let's go into the garage and dump out that big drawer of all screws that we've been holding on for years.
Yes.
That we just need to purge.
You never know when you're going to need that size.
Oh, okay. So that's different.
Time to look through it.
Hardware is different, and I have a lot of hardware. If I ever need to build anything, even DJ related, I've got hardware to build.
Dump out all those coffee cans and screws.
Right.
Oh man, you don't know. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a car builder, right? I mean,
right.
I build, the stuff that you hang on to. Think, why am I hanging on to this? And then a week later, it's like, oh, I actually need this thing. Ooh, I have this. Let me show you where it gets bad. This is where it's bad. If you've got so much stuff, you know you have it, but you can't find it or get to it, so you just buy a new one. That's what's bad.
There.
That aggravates me because that has happened many times.
It happens to me too. It's happened to me so many times.
And then after you buy the new one, you find the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a matter of managing your life, stuff, whatever. On the island, Alex, and I know that you're in an apartment, and I know that you have a room dedicated to equipment, and I know that you have a big van too. Do you got too much DJ stuff? What's going on over there?
So I actually have a purge at the end of every season, purely for the fact that I have a small storage room. So therefore it gets messy. I don't have time. I'm so busy during the season. I don't have time to spend an hour every day tidying up. I go in there, I grab stuff, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the season, it's a big tidy up, read all the drawers and everything. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Don't need that. That falls into the haven't used it for way too long, don't need it section, So do I use it all the time? Do I use it occasionally, but it works with the stuff I use all the time? Am I not using it at all? If it's not, I'm using it at all section. At the end of the season, I'm like, it's been 2 seasons, don't need it anymore. Sell it to somebody if they're, depending on what it is, or just give it away if it's like, microphone cables and things like that. Stuff that can easily be like, it's fine today and can be broken tomorrow. I just give it away. You know, stuff that you know is going to last, you know, and is worth the amount of money, then I'll probably, you know, if there's a buyer for it, I might sell it at a decent price, you know.
It's probably fair to ask the group too, and I've already gotten a lot of answers on this. Some of us have a hard time just throwing things away, don't we?
Oh yeah, most definite.
I've got an easy cure for that. It's called OCD. So all my, I have one brand for all my cables. So if it's like, you know, like for example, I get rid of all the cables that I get free with the bloody microphones from a certain like well-known brand that lasts forever and a million years, you know.
Right.
So yeah, because they're just a weird sort of like, they come in 4 meters and it's like, who makes cables in 4 meters?
Got it.
You know? It's like, I'm going to put that with another cable. It's like, yeah, I'm 1 meter short now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So generally it's like all the little bits that you get free, you know. So, you know, when you buy stuff, it's like IEC cables. Let's just not even go and power contact. Let's not even. And I was saying this to John and the other guys the other day. It's like, you know, at least you only get one cable. I live in a country where it comes with a 2-pin European and a 3-pin British, so I get twice as many IEC cables.
Oh,
I just got some German stuff that was that way. Yeah.
Alex, do they recycle? Do you ever like a recycling place you could take cables to? Because some places that recycle cables, that's copper wiring in there, you may get $1 or $2, or just be able to get rid of it.
I actually give it to my neighbour because he does that and he strips down. He finds, you know, he does this. That's what he does, you know. And he finds cables and he strips it down, and then because obviously copper's worth a bit of money, and you know, I'm guessing at some point he'll have a few 4-5 kilos, and that's probably worth like, you know, a couple of €100.
You know, I'm actually having a hard time around here locally finding a place that just like recycles general electronics. Like there's a old photo booth printer that is junk. Where am I taking this thing? Apparently, the recycling place isn't taking that kind of stuff. You have to take it to a different recycling place. And you can do like flat screen TVs, but everything else. When you look at the website, so what do I do with my electronics? You know what it actually says? Have you considered repairing it?
No.
I mean, I hate to just smash stuff up and hide it in the bin, but you know, geez, you give me little choice.
I'm guilty of that.
I got an uncle where if something happens to a piece of electronic gear, he has a family member that she likes to go to these called break rooms or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Trash things. So he just gives anything to her so that he can let her get rid of it, and then it's out of his hair.
You need to find one of those around here. I got a couple things that I think they would enjoy breaking.
Yeah.
Actually, a printer. People would love to break that.
Oh, they love smashing printers. You got to play Ghetto Boys and just.
Oh, that's the Office Space thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But take the power cord off it. You never know when you'll need that power cord.
It sounds like we all have the same struggles with this stuff. And so if you're watching this, just know you're not alone. we can talk about our differences all day, but in a lot of ways, we are the same.
And our stuff is big and clunky. We don't collect spoons or something that fit all nicely in a little display and you hang it on the wall. We have large things that are hard to stack and eat up a lot of space quickly.
I feel guilty about selling stuff to people who I suspect are hoarders. I feel bad.
You're
enabling somebody, you know.
But outside, out of mind, you know, out of your hair and someone else's hair. Hey,
it's like I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to get rid of all my wine, and then like an alcoholic comes and takes it. It's like you just can't feel good about that.
What are you going to bring me up? One thing that came right away into my mind when Damien was saying, I just saved all my mixes from the years. And then you said, Brian, well, I can understand that. That's one thing that you, and right away I thought of Howie, where he collects mics. Remember that? Yeah. And that's what he did. And that's what he does. He has a whole collection of mics behind him. And that's his thing. And
I collect records. I guess you could call my 7 1200s a collection of turntables. And I don't feel bad about collecting those things because I don't have knickknacks. I'm not a knickknack guy, so I don't.
See, I mean, I had a purge of my records, and it's like, you know what? I'm only going to have records. I don't collect 7 inches. I don't really do 12 inches. It's LPs only.
Okay.
And if it doesn't bring back a memory, I'm not bothered. Yeah, because I had other
I
stuff
tried
like,
that.
So it's a personal collection as opposed to a general collection.
I was 12-inch only, and then I looked at some of the stuff that I had kind of put aside, like my Prince stuff and my Bowie stuff and my Madonna stuff and my Duran Duran stuff. I'm like, okay, these. And it's like, no, more comes with that. And then my compilations showed up, and then I was dead set. I'm never going to look at 7-inch records. And wouldn't you know it, my friend and I bought a gorgeous collection of 7-inch records for a little bit of nothing. And then someone found out that I collect 7-inch records, so they dumped their 7-inch records on me. So now I just had to order, and I spent $21 on this stuff, which is actually very reasonable. Some 7-inch record bends.
Yeah.
Because they're just sitting out. But I never wanted to collect 7-inch records. But I have to admit, when I put Hungry Like the Wolf Duran Duran on the turntable with that center punch on that Harvest label, watching it go 45, listening to it, that did bring me joy. It really did.
Always prefer
it really did.
45s. I love 45s.
There's something about 45s. I mean, I know they wear out
I
fast.
love them. You don't want to know why I love them? I can flip through them. Bang. I didn't have to go, okay, what track is it on the album? I knew what I was getting right away once I dropped that needle. And,
I don't hate them.
I just thought they were easy to deal with. Yeah,
we've got wiggle room up the street, and I'm supposed to get on the list to play there. I talked to the owner. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm going to have to figure out Instagram to do that, because that's how he does his booking on Instagram for his DJs. They hit him up there. And I'm old, and I'm going to have to figure that part out. But I might finally get to actually use these records and play them for people. So the collection isn't just going to... And look, as DJs, how many records or songs, period, are we collecting that only we like? I mean, that's pretty much stuff that only I like. So I did purge anything I thought was stupid. But there's a lot of it because I like a lot of stuff. But I regret.
I'll ask you in 3 years and see if you still have the same output on that.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we need to go to my storage unit then.
I ain't going
Speaking of 45s, I just found I was going through my desk drawer. You know what I found? It was a baggie. It was like a sandwich baggie, a Ziploc, with about 10 or 12 of them yellow round things. You pop in
the adapters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 45 adapters.
I threw them out, but what do you call those? I didn't even know if there's a name.
45 adapters. Center.
What it is, or inserts or whatever. Yeah, but yeah.
I always call them centers. Mm.
Yeah.
But anyway, we all are having the same struggles. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on Hanging Out on Mondays. We will see you next time. We will be recording tomorrow night, back on our regular schedule, and we might even get a record roundup in there.
Ooh, and Proctor was by.
John's waving his hand over there, signaling me. I can
what I'm going to tell you to say before we get out.
Yeah, he's going to tell me to mention the sponsor, one of our sponsors, which is DJ Event Planner. Have a look at their information down here in the description of this video on YouTube. We have other sponsors as well. It's rolling here on the screen. You're probably seeing it. We have several sponsors. So thank you, all of you, DJ Event Planner and the rest, for being our channel sponsors. We